Okay, welcome back students. So here we are, question 11 of the sample paper of 2020. So find the value of this expression, which has a linear expression on top and the square root of the sum of two squares on the bottom, when p is equal to -7. So it's straightforward substitution of two values. I'm going to take two approaches. One will be the mental maths approach on the left, and then I'll use a more formal kind of pen and paper, more careful approach. So if we were taking a mental maths approach here, we'd be thinking double -7 is -14 and then -1 is -15. Okay, and then it doesn't matter whether it's negative or positive because square is positive. So I'd be taking the square root of 49 and 15, which is the square root of 64, and the square root of 64 is 8. So with mental maths I would have got to there, and highly risky because any mistake and you don't get your marks. Okay, the more formal substitution method would be to substitute. Now even writing that word down is getting me my partial credit. Substitute -7 for p. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. 2 times -7, the best way to write that is in a bracket, -1 over the square root of, now I know -7 can be written as 7 squared, but just in case we don't know that, we don't have to use that. We can use a straightforward substitution. Okay, and then we can put the lot into our calculator. Doesn't seem the calculator will work for me now that way because it's, oh, here it is. Okay, so let's start our fraction bar and just fill in what I have written here. So 2 by -7 can be written like this. I could have used the multiplication before the brackets. I'm allowed to, but I just don't have to. All over the square root of, now I cannot write -7 squared. I have to use that bracket if I want to use that minus. I don't have to use it, of course. I could have written in +7 squared, but if I want -7 squared, I have to use a bracket. So there's lots can go wrong here, but then again, if you did put -7 squared without the bracket, you'll end up getting an error on your calculator. So if that's happened to you, then go back and fill this in again. Okay, we're expecting an answer of -15 over 8. Hang on, I didn't finish up top now, so it's no harm. I wasn't careful enough up top here. I left out that -1. So apologies about that. I'm sure that was annoying you when I was doing it and you're wondering, was I going to continue on with my mistake? Okay, and we get -15 over 8 as I did on the right hand side. Both are correct. I would recommend this side, or at least a little blend between them if anything, because you should not be leaving yourself exposed to any slip or error costing you the entire question. Partial credit is so important. So the word substitute or substitution will get you partial credit. A substitution will get you up to mid credit, and then getting the answer right will get you full credit. Okay, we continue on now. So here we have what we recognize. I hope you recognize this as a grouping, which means basically that there's going to be two binomials, probably a positive by a negative or a negative by a negative. It's hard to tell. Okay, a positive by a negative binomial, but they won't have the same, they won't be like in their pattern. It won't be an x and a number and an x and a number. Okay, so what we do is we group the first two and factor it. So what is the highest common factor of 5fh and 2h squared? It's h. So we take out the h and we leave in the 5f minus 2h. Okay, now I'm hoping that this 5f minus 2h will be used again to go into the second two, this group. So you can kind of connect up like with like, and we see that that's positive, goes in positive 3 times. okay, because the 15 divided by 5 is 3 and the f's cancel. So this is a positive 3, and then we're just confirming that everything is fine by the last term being correct. Okay, so now the common factor is now this one. So you have h plus 3 times 5f minus 2h. Like I said, you can't really tell from early on whether it's going to be 2 negatives or 1 negative, because if either way you end up with 2 negative terms here. So it's kind of interesting that way. But as it turns out, it's a positive by a negative, and I have the answer correct here. Okay. Did I do enough for all my partial credit before getting my full credit? I didn't use the word grouping, and I'm going to do that. Okay, so I would, if you name the method from what you understand, say the subsection in your book, factor by grouping, that will give you your partial credit, even if things go wrong for you. And then if you get one of any of these trees, h or plus 3 or 5f or minus 2h, that'll bring you up to mid or even high partial credit. Okay, so there's your, so you will have got marks for doing any correct highest common factor. You probably would have got marks for grouping the first two. Okay, we drive on. Write the following as a single fraction. Okay, so this is quite a challenging one because there isn't just numbers at the bottom. So the denominators are 2x plus 1 and 4, and you will have worked through a method. So basically the long way will end up with 2x plus 1 down here and a 4 out here, because this is the lowest common multiple of the divisors. But what it actually looks like when you do it, when you work it out, is that you multiply that by that. I'm going to put brackets on down here, and I'm going to say 5 multiplied by 4. There's a minus here, and I'm picking it up, and I'm going to multiply x by this. That's a cross product here and cross product here, all over the common denominator, the lowest common denominator, which is 4 times 2x plus 1. Now that will go in easily because that'll just distribute in. So let's tidy up the top. 20 minus 2x squared minus x over 8x plus 4 by distributing in my multiplication in the bottom here. Okay, and that tidies up into minus 2. You could say it's done, but we often like to put descending powers. So minus 2x squared minus x plus 20 over 8x plus 4. And sorry, now I came off screen again. And that's fine. And now some people would say, wouldn't it be nice to take out the minus and have a fraction 2x squared plus x minus 20 all over 8x plus 4, with this minus separate to the entire fraction. Okay, like that. So but any of those answers will do you fine. That's the end of question 11. As always, I'll see you in the next one. What's this navigator about anyway? Where's it coming from?